Hey everyone, in today's video I want to talk about the mindset behind healing PCOS and how I use the Miracle Mastery method to heal PCOS in myself. And I've used this formula working with so many people with so many difficult disease diagnoses, and the fact of the matter is we can heal from so much more than we are led to believe. So I want to talk about the mindset behind healing something like PCOS, which Western medicine tells us is incurable, and that we are incurable if we have it. So let's dive into that. So one of the first things I want to bring attention to is when we hear about self-healing, or when we kind of bring that awareness to ourselves and bring that thought to ourselves of the ability to heal ourselves from whatever it is we're going through, whether it's PCOS or whatever. How does that make us feel? What are the beliefs that arise? What are the doubts? And, it's really important to actually pay attention to these and bring a lot of awareness and understanding to these things that we are actually believing about ourselves, because they're not just these powerless little thoughts in our mind. They're actually controlling a lot of what we do and the choices that we make and how we can move forward in our lives. And so these beliefs could be from anywhere, whether that is from your last doctor's visit or from family members who may also have experienced something negative, or wherever they came from. It's really important to identify the doubts that arise when you think about healing yourself, and spend some time with them. Really look at them and think, one, where did it come from? And two, is it true? And it will really make the world of difference to identify our beliefs around our healing when we begin our healing journey. Because the thing is, we can do every diet, we can take every supplement, whatever it is that we're doing to help us on this path of healing PCOS. But if we've got underlying beliefs, and some of these can be very much subconscious, which is why it's really important to, even meditate with this. Meditate with the topic of self-healing. What does that bring? What does that bring to the surface when you go there? Because this could potentially be one of the biggest things that's holding you back from actually self-healing, is the limiting beliefs around it. And so one that goes hand in hand with this is being told that we can't heal from something. And I want to talk about something called the nocebo effect. We've probably all heard of placebo, which is basically believing something and then having an actual effect from that, even though it didn't actually happen. Like, let's say you take a sugar pill, you think it's a real medication, and you actually end up getting results from taking it, because the mind perceives it to be as it is, and therefore has an effect. So this is actually a really fantastic thing to kind of dive into, because it really shows the power of the body, power of the mind-body connection, and how when we truly believe something, how it can manifest physically. This is huge when it comes to our health and when it comes to our healing, because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video about the things that we believe and the doubts that we may have, this ripples through our body, this ripples through our cells, the beliefs that we have about our own healing abilities and about our own health. So if we can actually use this idea of placebo as an example and just go there, just kind of explore this idea of, okay, so if I can do something that will give results, then I can actually kind of hijack this myself, change my beliefs and actually witness the results from it. And then we have nocebo, which is actually, sorry, that is my screaming child. Proof that you can heal PCOS and infertility. So nocebo is this really interesting thing of where being told or led to believe that you are ill, or let's say, for an example, a prognosis. So let's say you're told that you have such and such amount of time left to live. You can actually take this on and really absorb this information on a cellular level, and your body is listening to this being affirmed, and then will create that situation within the body. So this is why so many people end up coming out of the doctor's office even sicker than when they went in, because they're going there to be helped, and then they're being given all of these like limitations and potential prognosis, which, by the way, I see a huge problem with prognosis. Diagnosis is like kind of just putting together a selection of symptoms based off of the data that's been collected from previous situations. So a diagnosis, and as we know, like there's so many different versions of PCOS, so it's kind of interesting to even say that it's all PCOS and it's all the same, even though you can have so many different kinds of it. It's very interesting. However, prognosis, on the other hand, is complete guesstimation. It's entirely down to the opinion and the idea of whoever it is that's giving the prognosis. And actually, all it really is putting a belief onto somebody. Because you can have any diagnosis, but nobody knows outside of you if you can heal from that. So being told that you can't heal, being told that something is incurable, being told that you have such and such amount of time left to live, nobody can know that. All it's doing is instilling that limitation, instilling that negative belief into somebody who is already probably feeling negative about their health, probably already feeling quite down and defeated and disempowered. So being able to just kind of place these beliefs onto somebody already in that situation is only gonna have a negative effect. So that's the thing with prognosis. It is not factual. And the thing is with disease, like, it's not the disease that determines the healing. If that was the case, then everybody with the same diagnosis would have the same result. And we already know that that's not the case. You can have two people with the exact same diagnosis. One person gets better, the other person doesn't. They stay on medication or they stay ill for the rest of their time, which proves that the diagnosis itself holds no weight in the outcome of that person with the disease. But the person is what determines the outcome. The situation, the environment within and outside, that is what determines the outcome. So being given this prognosis by somebody that we give so much power to, these authority figures, a prognosis I just see as something that is just so problematic. That is my opinion. And I think it does more harm than good. And it is just something that deeply disempowers people. So I want you to think about that. You know, when somebody tells you you can't heal from something, is that factual? Have people done it in the past? Yes, they have. People have healed from PCOS. People have healed from the most aggressive and rare types of cancer. People have healed from everything. This is the issue with seeing ourselves as just a physical body, because we're so much more than a physical body. Not only is there a level of intelligence that is so incomprehensible within our bodies, like within our actual physical bodies, but we are more than our physical bodies. We are infinite beings of infinite knowledge and infinite wisdom that can connect to all that is, that source energy, that source wisdom. And so when you kind of look at it like that and kind of zoom out a little bit, like, oh, this person that, you know, learned from such a book, who now wears a white coat, told me I can't do something. But is that really the truth? Is that really factual? Or are they just telling you what they've learned and their limitations? And it doesn't mean that it's they're maliciously trying to disempower you. I hope they're not. Maybe some of them are, but hopefully that is not the case. But also we need to stop giving all our power away to authoritative figures, because actually we should be consulting with ourselves above anybody else when it comes to our health and our healing, and only taking steps that feel right. And anything that doesn't feel right, but yet somebody else has told us to do it, and therefore we'll do it. Like, I hear this all the time, like people reaching out to me saying, oh, I don't really want to take this, but my doctor says I have to. This is your body. Only you can decide. Only you can decide what you do with your body. We just need to take our power back. We've been kind of like taught for so long that we don't have these choices, and it's just incredible how so many of us literally don't know that we can actually just say, no, that I don't really agree with that, or no, that's not something that I want to do. I witnessed so much of this in the maternity system because I chose to have a home birth, and I declined so many things that so many people that I spoke to didn't want to do or didn't agree with, but didn't say no and didn't know that they could say no. And it's so incredible that we've been brainwashed in a way to think that we don't have power over our own bodies and our own autonomy. So I think it's really important to, really consider where these beliefs are coming from and where the limitations are coming from. And, you can have the most qualified doctor in the world, and they still won't know what you're capable of. They still won't know if you're going to heal from this thing. Just because the last person that they came into contact with some similar data to you didn't heal, it doesn't mean that you won't. And this is the thing, we've all come here with our own journey, with our own path and our own challenges to overcome, like our own training ground to really uncover and strengthen our gifts and discover what we're truly, truly good at. And we can only really do that through mastering these challenges, these hard situations that we find ourselves in. And the way I see it is everything can be healed unless you have literally chosen to die from something. Then you can heal. You can heal. People who have been wheelchair bound for their entire lives have been able to walk. When we can compare ourselves to these situations where the symptoms and disease and limitations are so much more extreme than what we're experiencing, and we can see those people overcome it, then why not us? And that's why I absolutely advise everyone to just surround themselves with stories like that. Expose yourself to miracles. And if you haven't got your own healing story that you've witnessed, because when you can witness yourself heal from something big, from something that you were told you wouldn't heal from, when you can witness yourself doing that and actually creating those miracles in your life, you will find it will be so much harder to doubt yourself from that point, because you've seen it, you've seen yourself do it, and you think, if I can do that, then what else can I do? And if you haven't experienced that, you haven't witnessed yourself do that, then surround yourself with other people that have. Find somebody that has healed the thing that you are currently going through, whether that's something in childhood trauma or whether that's a disease diagnosis, whatever it is. Find somebody who's overcome it. Find somebody that's overcome even worse. Exposing ourselves to these miracles instills in us that it's possible. What is possible? And then all of these limitations, it's what even are they? Are they even real? They're not made of facts. It's just what we've been told. And we also need to question everything. Where is this information coming from? I often look at the fork in the road where I once was with my PCOS. One of them was going down the road of several medications and eventually IVF for when I wanted to get pregnant. The other road was I need to follow my intuition here. Completely healed, completely reversed everything naturally, fell pregnant, perfect pregnancy, home birth, all good. And I look at those two different timelines that I had a choice to go down. And I look at the other one and I think, how much money could have been generated through me taking the other path. And I think that's always really important to understand, is if there is a gain from the very place that is creating such limitations, then it's worth asking questions. It's worth seeing a full picture and getting your information from several places. So I think there's definitely a few things to consider, but I truly believe that healing the body from anything, beliefs and the limitations and the things that we expose ourselves to and the authorities that we trust or ask questions to, or how we deal with this information when it's brought to us, this will determine so much on our healing journey. So I think it's so worth, rather than just diving for the diets and the supplements and all that stuff that I did for so long, for years and years and years, I thought this PCOS thing is solely physical. But I realize it's not. It is so not. It is deep emotional work. It is getting to the deep core subconscious beliefs that have been passed to us that don't even belong to us. And it is truly reclaiming what is ours at the core, which is health, wellness, balance. And that's what happened for me. I stopped identifying with PCOS and I began to heal from it. PCOS was an experience, it was a lesson, it was a deeply valuable initiation into this part of my life. And when I realized that's all that it was, that was when I was able to begin the process of letting it go and healing from it. So I'm going to leave it there. Sending you so much love. See you later.